But for sure, she called him Trenton, and you guys discussed the name Trenton. Because I thought it was, I thought it was dead.
This surprise witness, who came forward weeks after 2-year-old Trenton Duckett disappeared, was about to turn the missing child investigation upside down. A woman who works at the drive-thru of this Bellevue Wendy's restaurant now says she saw Melinda Duckett and Trenton the morning he vanished. I was working as a TV news reporter in Central Florida back in 2006 when Melinda Duckett claimed her son had been kidnapped.
I can't even start to begin to imagine what kind of person would do something like that to begin with.
Melinda told police that an abductor snatched her son out of his bedroom window here. But nearly 2 weeks after reporting Trenton's disappearance, Melinda took her own life. Now, nearly 2 decades later, people are still asking, where's Trenton? Well, sadly, many believe he is probably dead. But there are some who are holding out hope that Trenton could still be alive, including his dad. If so, how could that be? Well, one possibility is the handoff theory.
Until they can show me something else, there's nothing else to go on other than he's out there somewhere, and we have to continue to push the effort to try and find him.
I recently caught up with Josh Duckett, who has not given up on finding his son alive. After all, detectives never found blood or other evidence confirming the toddler died.
Hello. Hi. What is Trenton wearing, honey? I don't know. He was ready for bed.
Now, it was shortly after Melinda reported her son's abduction that detectives started to question whether the boy was really kidnapped from his bedroom. Early on, Leesburg, Florida police here were open to the possibility that maybe Melinda gave Trenton away to someone else, possibly a family member or a friend. Officers here urged that person to drop the child off at a public place.
And I can't assure them of anything, but the longer they keep Trenton, if that's the case, the worse it's going to be.
When I spoke with Melinda days after Trenton's disappearance, she denied being responsible.
I'm sure you know, a lot of people are questioning whether you had something to do with this.
Oh, I understand that. I do.
Could you harm your own child?
No.
After Melinda killed herself inside her grandparents' home, police found several suicide notes. The suicide notes did not indicate Trenton was dead. Instead, Melinda suggested her son was still alive, writing, "Even after my baby is found, I would not be a good mother."
Obviously, we have to face the facts that, Trenton may be alive, but Trenton may be dead.
While Leesburg police were preparing the public for the worst possible outcome, across town, the Marion County Sheriff's Office launched its own parallel investigation based on the premise that the toddler was still alive.
It's been the theory of the Marion County Sheriff's Office that we believe that Trenton Duckett was handed off.
According to Marion County investigators, 2 employees of this Wendy's restaurant in Bellevue claimed to have seen Trenton with his mom just hours before she reported him missing.
But for sure, she called him Trenton, and you guys discussed the name Trenton. Because I thought it was, I thought it was dead.
One of the fast food workers who passed a polygraph claims she served Melinda and Trenton here in the Wendy's drive-thru, at one point removing her drive-thru headset so she could hear the child's name.
Yeah, I thought she said dead, and she said Trent, because I moved my ear, and I heard the T. Oh, that's nice.
That same Wendy's employee says Melinda returned to the drive-thru about 20 minutes later. That time, Trenton was no longer in the car.
It was possible during this time that she may have left that Wendy's and actually met someone to hand Trenton off.
If Melinda handed off the toddler, where was Trenton taken? Well, Marion County investigators had another theory. The agency looked into whether Trenton was brought here to Orlando International Airport and smuggled onto a plane, possibly bound for South Korea.
We do have certain individuals that stated that Melinda had talked about her roots and possibly sending little Trenton back to his roots.
Melinda was born in South Korea, but she was adopted by an American family when she was just a few months old. Melinda's parents say she had absolutely no ties to her native country.
We're working with Customs. We're issuing some subpoenas.
Chris Blair, who was later elected Marion County Sheriff and then resigned from office in controversy, admitted to me his agency had no solid proof Melinda sent her son overseas.
Did she have any contacts in Korea?
None specific that we're aware of at this time.
Back here in Leesburg, police absolutely discounted that handoff theory, saying the alleged sighting at the Wendy's just simply didn't match up with the timeline established by Melinda's cell phone records and other witness statements. Also, Leesburg police say none of Melinda's friends or the friends of those friends ever boarded a plane around the time of Trenton's disappearance. Lead detective Rich Giles, who is now retired, is convinced the child is dead.
What do you think happened to Trenton Duckett?
I believe that Melinda killed him.
Detective Giles' personal opinion is that Trenton's mother took her son's life possibly an entire day before reporting him missing.
So you think whatever she did with Trenton probably happened near her apartment in Leesburg?
I'm thinking that what happened with Trenton happened at the apartment.
Officially, the Leesburg Police Department's investigation remains open.
Melinda Duckett is the prime suspect in the reported disappearance of Trenton.
Despite there being no evidence that Trenton Duckett is alive, there is also no evidence confirming he's dead. That gives Trenton's father hope that Melinda may have given their son away to somebody, even if it did not happen at that Bellevue Wendy's. If she handed him off, why did she do it?
Control. Her whole thing was controlling. She's still controlling my life, even though she's no longer here.
Josh believes Melinda's friends have not told detectives everything they know about Trenton's disappearance. You think people are still holding back information?
I definitely think there's people out there that have information that's not saying, you know, and no matter what the outcome, we want answers.
Here at the Leesburg Police Department, an investigator remains assigned to the case to follow up on any leads, and Trenton's missing child poster is still hanging in the windows. Anyone with information about his disappearance is urged to call the Central Florida Crime Line at 1-800-423-TIPS or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, 1-800-THE-LOST. Until this child is found, this community will continue to ask, where's Trenton? I'm Mike DeForest.